Hey everybody, it's John. Lake Erie chestnuts, and we're out here on the farm today checking out the mast crop. Any tree that produces food. So we're gonna look for apples, chestnuts, acorns, hazelnuts, persimmon. Look at all sorts of different trees here today. We'll just kind of get an update here in early August of how things are progressing on the farm and what's producing well this year and what's not working out. We'll start with this little apple tree here. Just starting to get a little blush of apple, a little red on them. Quite a few apples. Get a look at another apple tree here. It doesn't have red on it yet. Kind of looks like it's going to be a crab. These are all wild sprouted trees, but a fair number of apples on those. Well, there's no other way to say it, but the apples this year, there will be a ton of them. A couple different trees here. You can just see how many apples are on them. And no shock to see right here, a buck track. A bunch of deer tracks, fawns. You can see they're eating apples. This is an apple orchard that I believe the main core trees probably were planted. This property was first settled in 1865. That's when the house was built and registered to a Mrs. Linda Russell. And then in 1940, the next family owned it until I purchased it in 2014. And you'll see why. I think that some of these trees were planted. This tree is hard to get an estimate of size, but it's at least 20 inches at the base and at breast height, at least 14, 16 inches. A lot of dead branches below because it's been growing up, but lots of alive branches up high. I always get a lot of good deer pictures here early. This is the tree that I really love. These apples are huge. They're bigger. They're bigger than my fist. They're very large apples, white flesh, very tasty. And I get a lot of deer pictures underneath this tree. One of my most robust producers when we have a good apple year is this guy. It holds apples very late. I don't know how to identify apple types. If any of you know how, that'd be awesome. But you can see the branches are just loaded. That tree's maybe a 12 or 14 inches at the base. I'm not sure that that's a grafted tree, but they're kind of in the same area. But Pennsylvania in general has a ton of volunteer apples anyway. Coming up on the back way, you can see down low at deer height, lots of trails. Lots of trails. But up at my height, pretty brushy. That's why I let it grow tight. They feel secure here. I come in here about once every month, maybe a month and a half, just to check a game camera card. Now this is the back of that tree that has all those red apples on the other side. These are in less sun. Look at that shape, almost pear-shaped. I've got a small one on the ground here. I'm gonna try it. Just a touch bitter, but tasty actually. White flesh. I don't mind eating some fresh apples. You can see apples on the ground. Gonna make deer show up too. Now look here. Look at this tree. Just loaded. Yeah, these are more traditional shaped apples. Let's taste one of them if I can get up on them. Base of this tree that's loaded, a lot smaller. I think this is a volunteer that is grown here. There's a much bigger one beside it. It's loaded with apples too, but light green, not turning red yet. So clearly a little bit different to genetics, but loaded, 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 loaded. Very blessed. Well, let's try this one. Here's one from this tree. It's got a little bit of, I don't know, what are you guys gonna call that, scab? I'm gonna try it. So this one tastes better, but its flesh is it's either more ripe or it's just a less crispy version, because it's much easier to bite into. It's not as, it doesn't have that crunch. Both of these trees will be trees that I will graft next year. This thing's amazing. This goes into our major oak grove. Got some maples here up front, but starting right here, all oak. I wouldn't be surprised if we bounce something out of here. Used to have a ton of beech here. Hack and Squirt cleared all this out. That stump was a beech tree. Hack and Squirt at this time of year on to fall will kill them dead. If you haven't done Hack and Squirt, just get a spray bottle with 50% glyphosate. Well, whatever the percent, I think it's 40% glyphosate, but do that, whatever strength that is that you buy at Rural King or Tractor Supply, just glyphosate, not mixed with anything else. It can have the emulsion or whatever with it, but no other chemicals with it. Take that, 50% that, 50% water, carry it in a squirt bottle, and on a beech tree, just hack all the way around the tree with a hatchet and squirt right in it, and they were deader than a hammer in 2 weeks. And this has opened this up. Now, I would rather have a little more understory here, but these are some really nice oaks, probably reaching a little bit of timber value. Lots of ferns. Let's see if we have any early acorns falling. We do. So right here, got an acorn and a pup. So we'll back up here. So pretty soon, so it looks like it's going to be a good acorn year, because I got green acorns kind of all over here, tons of acorns over here. So we had a very weak acorn crop last year. This is one of my favorite trees. The triple oak, all out of a stump sprout. All of those are going to be saw logs. The smallest one is got to be 14 inches, maybe 16 inches. But we had almost no acorn crop last year. And with no acorn crop last year, if the weather works, you get good acorns the next year. So there will be a trail camera coming in here very shortly, because I'm looking below this tree and it is just covered with acorns that are not quite mature, but if it's got that many dropping now, it's going to be good. Now, you know that we all have an ash problem, the emerald ash borer. So you can see here, we got an ash tree that fell. snapped off here. We have another ash tree. It's dead. Another one dead over there. But the main thing that opened this up was Catkins squirt 7 or 8 years ago. Oh yeah, all sorts of acorns. Another way you can look for acorns is with binoculars. Some people bring binoculars out in the woods to look. Now there's a pretty good combo back here. We'll have to see how it all works out. We got 2 apple trees that are struggling to survive within the woods. We'll walk through here. This is a spot that is a community scrape year after year. Not a lot of action right now, but they use these branches for licking branch. Nice solid oak tree right there. Another one, nice one here, here. We're checking the ground. Can't take too long because we got weather coming again. It's a day of intermittent rain. And we do have some apples. So this will be a dynamite spot for early season, mid-season bow. We've got oak trees all around us. Oak, big oak that splits here. A couple nice smaller oaks here. I don't know if we can see up there if there's any acorns or not. Hard for me to tell. But right here, we have an apple tree. And looks like there's a fair amount of apples. See those? And there will be a dynamite spot this fall for buck doe. Great place to look. See if Mr. Big can cruise past. Now these oak trees may be getting to where they have some timber value, but they're not going down while I'm alive. They're too valuable to me as nurse trees, creating more acorns, and for bringing wildlife, turkey, deer. Maybe a little problematic actually. So much food won't be able to cluster the deer activity. Here's something interesting. This is a stump sprout. This is the stump that was cut in a prior logging. And here's the sprout, about 12 inches in diameter. Got a little lean, but overall it's straight. It's just growing crooked. Not a real bend for the first 30 feet, and then there's a little crook up here. Nice canopy. There's a tree that I took out years ago. See the hacking? This was an ash. It was going to go anyway. There it is now. And in its place, I selected this tree in place of it because this is a young oak. And 10 foot away, another oak. So, unfortunately, the ash had to go. go look at persimmons. This is a look at our female persimmon tree. Not producing a lot. Actually a little worried because this tree has looked slightly weak since mid part of last year, but it did bloom. And there's a persimmon that's developing, but it only has 2 or 3. You know, these male trees, really cool looking, very healthy, very full. This tree kind of open inside. I don't know, leaves look healthy, just not quite the same healthy color. You can see it's a lighter green than this tree. They used to all kind of look like that, so I don't know exactly what's up with that tree. But only a couple persimmons from the female tree. Got some hazelnuts forming. You can see there. New catkins developing already for next year. It's getting really dark. Gotta get over and feed my fish before I get hit. Lots and lots of hazelnut here. And the newer next year's catkins developing. We got a lot of baby ones growing along here. Looks like the Japanese beetle's done a number on this one. Oh yeah, there they are. Yeah, we'll flick them. Make them at least climb back up. Here's another one. Healthier top growth. That'll be a nice hedge as the years go by. Got some clouds coming in, so I can go feed the fish. Any of you goldenrod allergy sufferers, it's coming. Are you a sufferer? Is? Here's a look at my Norway spruce. About 8 foot, 9 foot tall. Come out. I could see movement towards that. Well, looks like rain is starting to come. This oak is just a little bit different oak. It's Swervy, not really a timber tree, but it's a black oak. Remember the red oak family? It's dumping a bunch of acorns too. Now this is early, but when it's dumping them, hopefully it's holding on to plenty of others up there. I think this could be a pretty awesome season. Chasing critters that chase acorns. Here's a transplanted persimmon tree. That was a 1-year-old seedling that I put out this spring. Well, the dark clouds are coming and I better head to the house. Hope you enjoyed walking around the farm looking at some mast crops that we have coming. Looks like we're going to have plenty of food for the deer and all the other critters that love it. Deer, turkey, coyotes, woodchucks, raccoons, possums, woodchucks, fishers, whatever animal, black bear that comes along here. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Tell me what you're doing out at your farm. How's the crops looking? Acorns going to be growing on your property this year? What's your early season strategy, and how are those chestnuts coming along? Thanks for following me here. Remember, if you're not growing, you're dying.